shall we?
And now we die!
Go faster! It's that golf cart! What do you want, a Tokyo Drift?
The idea of bringing Anaconda back has been quietly gaining momentum, and the upcoming movie is being discussed as a modern reimagining rather than a simple continuation of the older films. The original Anaconda became memorable because it mixed survival horror with raw creature feature tension, placing humans against a force of nature that felt unstoppable. This new project is expected to respect that legacy while reshaping it for today's audience, focusing more on atmosphere, character-driven fear, and realism instead of exaggerated camp. The jungle once again plays a central role, not just as a setting, but as a living, breathing threat, where every sound, shadow, and movement carries danger. The intention appears to be crafting a grounded survival story that leans into suspense and dread, making the snake feel like an intelligent predator rather than just a monster jumping out for shock value. This upcoming version is being talked about as a fresh start, meaning newcomers won't need any prior knowledge of the older films to enjoy it. At the same time, longtime fans can expect subtle nods to what made Anaconda iconic in the first place, such as the isolation of the rainforest, the slow build of fear, and the terrifying realization that escape is never guaranteed. Instead of relying on constant action, the film is said to take its time, letting tension grow naturally as characters realize they are being hunted. The story leans into the primal fear of being watched by something you cannot see clearly, something that blends into its environment perfectly. This approach allows the snake to feel more realistic and menacing, making every encounter feel earned and terrifying rather than predictable. When it comes to the people at the center of the story, the film reportedly focuses on a small group rather than a large ensemble. This allows the narrative to spend more time developing personalities, conflicts, and motivations, making the danger feel personal. Each character is expected to have a clear reason for being in the jungle, whether it's scientific research, exploration, profit, or personal obsession. These differing goals create natural tension within the group, which becomes even more intense once survival becomes the only priority. Instead of everyone reacting the same way, the film emphasizes how fear affects people differently, pushing some toward bravery and others toward desperation. This human element is meant to be just as compelling as the creature itself. The casting direction for the upcoming Anaconda movie is being described as a blend of familiar faces and fresh talent. Rather than relying on one massive star to carry the film, the project aims for a balanced cast where each actor contributes meaningfully to the story. This approach helps maintain realism, making the characters feel like real people rather than exaggerated archetypes. The performances are expected to focus on subtlety, with fear and tension conveyed through expressions, silence, and small reactions rather than over-the-top dialogue. This choice aligns with the overall tone of the film, which seems to favor slow-burn suspense over loud spectacle. The plot reportedly centers on an expedition that ventures deep into an isolated region where modern technology offers little help. Communication breaks down early, cutting the group off from the outside world and forcing them to rely on instincts and limited resources. As they move deeper into the jungle, signs of danger appear: gradually disturbed wildlife, unexplained disappearances, and the feeling that something massive is moving just out of sight. The anaconda itself is introduced carefully, often through its impact rather than direct visuals. This method builds anticipation and fear, making the eventual full encounters far more intense, rather than portraying the snake as purely evil. The film treats it as a natural predator acting on instinct. This perspective adds a layer of realism and makes the conflict feel more unsettling, because there is no villain to defeat in a traditional sense. The jungle belongs to the anaconda, and the humans are the intruders. This shift in perspective allows the story to explore themes of human arrogance, the consequences of pushing into untouched environments, and the idea that nature does not need a reason to be deadly. The snake's intelligence is shown through behavior rather than fantasy elements, making it feel believable and frightening. Visually, the upcoming Anaconda movie is expected to rely heavily on atmosphere. Dense foliage, low visibility, and natural lighting play key roles in creating unease. The filmmakers appear to be emphasizing practical effects and realistic movement for the snake, supported by modern visual effects rather than completely replacing them. This blend is meant to give the anaconda physical weight and presence, making every appearance feel grounded. Sound design is also expected to be crucial, using rustling leaves, distant animal calls, and deep, subtle movements to suggest the snake's presence even when it is not on screen. The pacing of the story reportedly balances quiet tension with sudden bursts of chaos. Long stretches of suspense allow viewers to absorb the environment and connect with the characters, while moments of attack are fast, brutal, and unforgiving. These sequences are designed to feel shocking not because of excessive gore, but because of how quickly everything can go wrong. Survival becomes less about fighting and more about making the right decision at the right moment. This approach keeps the stakes high and the audience constantly on edge. As for the timeline, the movie is positioned as an upcoming release rather than something far in the future. Production updates suggest that the creators are confident in the direction and tone, aiming to deliver a polished final product rather than rushing it. The release window is being discussed as strategically chosen to attract both horror fans and general audiences, looking for a tense theatrical experience. The goal is to reintroduce Anaconda as a serious survival thriller rather than a nostalgic novelty. Discussion around the trailer has been particularly strong, with expectations leaning toward a teaser that focuses more on mood than story. Instead of revealing too much, the trailer is expected to hint at danger through brief visuals, unsettling sounds, and quick flashes of the jungle. The anaconda itself is likely shown sparingly, maintaining mystery and encouraging curiosity rather than giving away major moments. This marketing approach aligns with the film's overall philosophy of restraint, letting imagination do much of the work. Another interesting aspect being talked about is how the movie might set up future stories without turning itself into an obvious franchise starter. The narrative is expected to feel complete on its own, while still leaving room for expansion if audiences respond positively. This balance allows the filmmakers to focus on telling one strong story rather than being distracted by sequels. It also ensures that the ending feels satisfying rather than purely promotional, tone-wise. The upcoming Anaconda movie seems determined to distance itself from excessive humor. While small moments of human interaction may provide brief relief, the overall mood remains serious and tense. Fear is treated with respect, and danger carries real consequences. Characters are not protected by plot armor, reinforcing the idea that anyone can be taken at any time. This unpredictability is one of the film's strongest selling points, keeping viewers emotionally invested from start to finish. In many ways, this new Anaconda project feels like a reflection of how creature movies have evolved. Audiences today often want more than just spectacle. They want immersion, believable characters, and a sense of authenticity. By focusing on these elements, the film aims to deliver a survival experience that feels intense and memorable. The jungle is not just a backdrop, but a character in its own right, shaping every decision and amplifying every mistake. As anticipation builds, the upcoming Anaconda movie stands as an attempt to redefine what the franchise represents. Instead of leaning solely on nostalgia, it seeks to prove that the concept still has power when handled with care and modern storytelling sensibilities. If successful, it could remind audiences why the idea of a massive predator lurking unseen remains so effective. At its core, the film is about fear of the unknown, the limits of human control, and the terrifying realization that some forces of nature cannot be conquered, only survived.